Welcome back to Treasures from the Purans, a treasure chest of fascinating stories from the Puran genre of Indian literature. In the last episode, you listened to the birth of the Kuru boys Pandu and Dhritarashtra. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Kunti and the birth of the Pandavas. Bhishma managed the kingdom till Pandu and Dhritarashtra came of age, and then Pandu was crowned the king, even though he was younger, as his brother Dhritarashtra was blind. The wise Vidur, his half-brother, became his trusted minister. Dhritarashtra had two wives. One was his queen Gandhari, the princess of Gandhar, who chose to stay blindfolded in deference to her blind husband. The other wife, Saubali, was a maid-in-waiting and managed the household affairs. To Gandhari were born a daughter, Dushala, and 100 powerful and good-looking sons, the eldest of whom was Duryodhan. Saubali gave birth to one handsome son, who was named Yuyutsu. Several years later, in the long battle of Mahabharat, Yuyutsu was to leave the Kauravas and fight alongside the Pandavas, who he felt were morally right. King Pandu had two wives too, Kunti and Madri. Kunti or Pritha was born to the Yadav chief Shursen and his wife Marisha. One of her brothers was Vasudev, the father of Krishna. When Shursen's childless cousin Kunti Bhoj expressed a wish to adopt Kunti and bring her up as his daughter, Shursen willingly agreed. Kunti grew up to be an intelligent and lovely young woman. Durvasastu muni praptash chaturmasya stito dvijaha paricharya krita kuntya muni santosham jagamaha dado mantram shubham tasye yenahutah surah swayam samayati tatha kamam purayishyati vanchitam. Once, sage Durvasa, who was known for his terrible temper, visited King Kunti Bhoj and stayed there for the 4 months of the Chaturmas. Chaturmas is the period of the rainy season during which wandering renunciates have to stay at one place and meditate on the absolute truth. Kunti took great care that sage Durvasa was looked after properly during this period. Because of that, the sage was very pleased with Kunti and granted her a boon. He gave her a spell or a mantra saying, "If you call upon any god while reciting this mantra, he will manifest before you and give you a son equal to himself in glory." Sometime after Durvasa left, Kunti was eager to try out the mantra and see if it worked. Wondering which god to invoke, she looked up and saw the dazzling sun. On an impulse, she recited the mantra and invoked the sun god Surya. At once, Surya appeared before her in a dazzling human form. Kunti was stunned. She folded her palms and said, "O splendid one, I am blessed to have seen you. I was just testing the mantra given to me. Please return to your abode." Surya said, "O doe-eyed one, I have come to you by the power of the mantra. But beholding you now, I am mesmerized. Please accept me." The unmarried Kunti was aghast. She shuddered at the thought of being amorous with this dazzling form which stood before her, and she certainly didn't want to have a child. "O knower of dharma," she said, "I am an unmarried girl, and you know it isn't proper for me to do so. I do not want to invite shame upon myself and my family." Surya replied, "If I leave now, it would be a matter of great shame, and I would be the laughing stock of the gods. So if you don't agree, then I will curse you as well as the person who has granted you this powerful mantra. Please don't turn me away. I promise you that you will have a son just like me, and no shame will come upon you for this act." The beautiful Kunti and the dazzling Surya were thus united, and Kunti became pregnant. As months passed, she confined herself, and no one came to know about her state, except for a devoted, loyal nurse. When the time came, she gave birth to a bonny son, resplendent in a golden armor and golden earrings. Though he was as brilliantly radiant as Surya, Kunti's immediate concern was to keep his birth a secret, so she decided to let him go. Placing the newborn in a casket, she spoke to him tearfully. "O son," she said, "you are as dear to me as my own life, and yet I have to send you away from me, for I fear shame. May the Devi Bhagavati, the creator of the universe, feed and protect you. I don't know when I will see your beautiful face again, and I will have to perform severe penance to expiate this terrible sin which I now knowingly commit." The nurse then hastily took away the casket and gently put it in the river, where it floated away. It was later discovered by a charioteer named Adhirath. He and his wife Radha were delighted to find the child, as they were childless. They brought him up lovingly, and he grew up to become the great warrior Karna. Subsequently, Kunti married King Pandu in a Swayamvar. A Swayamvar was a ceremony where princesses could choose their husbands from among the gathered princes and kings. One day, King Pandu was out hunting in the forest. He saw a deer and shot an arrow at him. Unknown to him, the deer was actually sage Kindam, who was making love to his wife, who was also in the form of a deer. The arrow found its mark, but an enraged and dying Kindam cursed Pandu. "O heartless one," he said, "you will die the moment you start making love." A shocked and sorrowful Pandu returned to his palace, but soon became so agitated that he decided to leave his kingdom and go and live in the forest. His wives decided to go with him. They lived very simply in the forest, and Pandu practiced severe austerities and listened to the scriptures. Once, as he sat listening to a sage, the sage impressed upon the importance of having children. As he was bound by the curse, he asked Kunti to beget a child from a suitable person. "Do not be perturbed by my asking you," he said. "In ancient times, the high-souled Saudas also requested his wife and got a son from sage Vashisht." Kunti now revealed that she knew a secret spell or mantra. Pandu was delighted to know about it, and at his request, she first invoked Dharmaraj, also known as Yamraj. From their union was born the just and fair Yudhishthir. The next year, she invoked Pavandev, or the god of the winds, and Bhim was born, who was as powerful as Pavandev. The year after that, she invoked Indra, the king of the Devatas, and from him begot Arjun, the great warrior. Seeing the 3 sons of Kunti, Madri too expressed her ardent wish to have a child. A compassionate Kunti then gave her the mantra, and Madri invoked the twins Ashwini Kumars. And from their union were born the twins Nakul and Sahadev, who were the most good-looking of the Pandav brothers. They were all living happily in the forest till one day, when Pandu and Madri were alone, Pandu couldn't help himself and embraced his beloved wife. He immediately fell down dead. Just as a creeper falls down when the tree on which it is growing is cut, Madri too fell to the ground with a shriek. She, Kunti and the children mourned the passing away of Pandu, and with the help of the sages in the forest, performed his last rites. Madri was determined to follow the custom of Sati and ascended her husband's funeral pyre, leaving her sons in the care of Kunti. Kunti then returned to Hastinapur with the 5 sons, escorted by the sages. Bhishma, Vidur and Dhritarashtra came to receive her, and on seeing the boys, asked Kunti, "O charming one, who are these boys? Whose sons are they?" "They are the sons of the Devatas," replied Kunti, "born in the Kuru dynasty." So saying, she invoked the 5 Devatas again. They all appeared in the celestial space above and verified Kunti's statement. Bhishma then took charge of the boys, and the Pandav princes grew up receiving an education fit for royalty under his guidance. Thus ends the story of the birth of the Kauravs and the Pandavas, who went on to fight against each other in the great war of Mahabharata. The events that led to it is another great story. Srimad Bhagavatam Punyam Nanakyanakavanvitam Dvaipayan Mukhodbhutam Panchalakshana Sangyutam Shrinvatam Sarvapapagnam Shubhadam Sukhadam Tatha Itihasamidam Punyam Kirtitam Munisattamah.